Resume our interviews. We'll have a more general episode today. We're going to have a catch up so you can hear all about our current training, nutrition, and goals, and then some topics of interest that have been catching our eye. After that, we've got some questions from listeners, and we'll get into those. So I don't think we've podcasted since last year. That feels like a long time ago.
Before Christmas. We had a little bit of a holiday. Busy.
Yeah, setting up just now felt like the first step. Let's hope everything is set up and we don't finish the podcast and we
didn't
don't
record
have
it.
audio. So.
Yeah, but Andy, you were in the UK for quite a long time.
Yeah, well, with all the quarantine and stuff, so I had to go in early for Christmas.
Yeah.
I was in by, I think my flight was the 5th or 6th, can't quite remember. Then I had Christmas. And then I was like, well, you might as well have the New Year's. There's no point flying back for years. What the trick is to fly back when UK school starts.
Yeah.
Then the flights are suddenly a lot cheaper because no one's traveling anywhere. Although I don't know, it's still like that even with COVID when no one's traveling. But and then we just flew because Kaya's school didn't start until the 11th of January.
Yeah.
So,
gosh, well, it must be weird that she's back at school.
Yeah. 10 months of homeschooling.
That's great.
So now you just got lots of time on your hands now that you're.
And also love being back at school, see their friends and I went to pick Cara up yesterday from school. It was classic. Get there. She knew I was coming to pick her up. Took one of the bigger pup and went to pick her up. She was doing a horse lesson. You can ride the horses at home. I don't know why I'm having to wait for you.
Yeah. Oh,
that's really funny.
And I'm sure she doesn't really ride the ones at home that much.
She does.
No, she's doing everything she can to avoid it. She will go on. She will ride it, but as in like when she's home.
Yeah.
You badger because she has to do horse riding at school. We make her do it because it's paid for.
Oh yeah.
At home, it's like, well, she's been homeschooled. She would go on a horse.
Yeah.
Like when she's back at school, it's hard to then get her to. When she comes home, she's just like,
Yeah, it's like that. It's like a lesson now. It's not fun anymore.
Exactly. But yeah, I think she should be practicing. But yeah, I'll try and get on the horse tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I got myself a bit.
Yeah. So Andy, tell us about what you've been posting little hints of exciting plans and what's the lowdown?
It's a tricky one because all the plans depend on COVID, really, don't they? Because I was going to do a show last year. In fact, got postponed, so I'm owed a show, which is always good. But here's the thing, So the plan is this: compete end of September, October. So I get Kaya back in school, then I fly to UK, do a couple of shows within a short window.
Yeah.
So I can take a bit of leave from work and have like 2-3 weeks in the UK. With that though, so we've had to schedule the whole plan based on that. So I'm mini cut at the moment, but I'm not sure how long that's going to last because Ollie was talking about going into prep in April.
Oh.
And bringing me in like really early.
Yeah.
Fill me back up, and then maintain. Well, then leave it too late because you never know. If I'm ready really early, there's a show, might do it. But the idea is we're gonna try and grow into the show a little bit in the fact that I'm mini cut now. I have like a couple of months, put some weight back on. I put on quite a bit of size in the last. So I went from 170 to I think at the height I was over 212.
Wow.
But to be fair, the condition it was good. The condition was good up to 205. Then after 205, it went like it was Christmas, so I went and then like mashed potato in a string vest. But there's a bit of size with that, but which is all right. Happy. So we're gonna do classic. Me and Ollie had a really big discussion about competition goals. And we decided my physique suits classic better because he always says it's funny in board shorts I don't look as good as I do when I'm wearing sort of underwear, because my legs actually are bigger than my upper body. She says, we should probably, with that, we should do that, because I've got a tiny waist to shoulder ratio. I could probably do with, I was doing like the golden ratio. I was looking at golden ratio. I've got like a 28-inch waist. So I really, if I want to be something like Steve Reeve, I kind of need about 50-inch shoulders. I think mine are about 48 and a half.
Wow.
So is to get them a bit out here a little bit.
Yeah.
And then legs. But it's so good. I just got to get some posing trunks. But the problem is, I'm owed a PCA show.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a PCA show, but I'm probably a two bro show as well if there's one at the same time.
Yeah.
I'll jump into one of those. I'll probably do in a PCA, do an open show in my category. I think I'm trying to work out what my category is. I think it's like D, I think. Something like that. 5'9", 5'10" area. And then I might do a Masters one with toes because there may be a few more old timers. But so good. The aim is to in the next couple of months try and push up the weight again. Competition weight looking to be around that sort of 185, 190 pounds, which is almost the ceiling limit actually is a little bit heavier than that. I think it's like 90 kgs. So that's about, 200 pounds, I think. Near enough.
So 185 is 84 kilos. Sorry, I was just doing a quick calculation. Okay.
So I'll be close. I'll be sort of with room to grow for the following year, which is the aim. So it's positive. We have a plan. Look, just handling. My blood glucose went a bit crazy over Christmas. It turns out with my blood glucose issues that I can't slack. Even if I make things shoehorn into my, it doesn't work for my actual health. So, and that's a lesson for everyone. I always say this, just because you can get something to fit your macros doesn't mean it's a healthiest choice. And like at Christmas, it's like, I'll have a bit of meat for my dinner, hold back the carbs and have a little bit of gingerbread house or something,
Yeah.
But the fact on the blood sugar levels, they're all over the show. So, I'm back now. I'm back to my usual 2 chicken meals, 2 beef meals, a pre-training and a post-training, sort of carbs. So, and carbs are quite low as the day goes on. So my last meal I had 50 grams of rice with my meal, which is tiny. So when I wake up, my blood glucose is 4.7 usually, which is good. It's where I want to be.
That's good. And I mean, what are your calories for the mini cut?
About 2,000. I've got to try to remember now. Just over 2,500.
Okay. Yeah.
Working. I'm back down. Oh, as I say, I went up to 212. I'm back down to 20. This one 202.8.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, it's interesting, and maybe we can talk about this later. How if you are a physique competitor or a bodybuilder, or I think if you've got health issues, like if it fits your macros, is it's not going to work. You actually have to be very, very strict, and you can't, like you say, cut yourself slack. And it is the minute details that actually matter. But we can get.
One thing I always make it's the carbs and fats that I end up trying to shoehorn in. I always still make sure my protein is where it's meant to be, and then it's trying to squeeze in. But I should be, because of how my genetics are, I should be on higher fats, lower carbs.
Yeah,
it's just how my body works. But over Christmas it was the opposite. It was it was like a lot of carbs, in various forms, high fats, but you end up eating a lot less, being hungrier, but knowing all your macros been used up for the day.
I know. Well, Leon's nutrition has got pretty insane. Tell us more about Well, you have a new coach. I mean, tell us about that.
Yeah, well, started with JP. So
Tell the listeners who JP is.
JP, come on.
I'm sure anyone who follows me, and if you don't know JP,
You say that.
then you're really...
Some people may not. Jordan Peters, feel free to look him up. British legend.
Yeah, if you don't know JP and Corinne, then you don't really listen to the podcast very well. But yeah, it's JP. I started with him when he opened up coaching because he was off coaching for maybe...
Yeah, for a while. I think I messaged you to say he's opening up his coaching.
Yeah,
and I was like,
get on there ASAP.
You sent me the screenshot. I inquired and went for it. So started first Monday of January is when we started the training. And I guess good thing is we'd already been sort of training with the principles they use. So him tweaking and changing stuff wasn't as hard. So he was at least happy with that. But
was it an interview sort of thing? Or did you fill the form in?
Yeah, I filled the form, then he emailed, then, back and forth. He's very old school. Email was so it was a bit of back and forth email. Then I did the questionnaire, sent it back, talked again, and then he set up everything. And been on it. Nutrition now. I guess the big thing now that's changed is nutrient timing. Like we're very, like no more snacking in between, like have my orange later when I feel like, or my fruit. It's meal.
On time, yeah.
Yeah.
Very.
So protein is higher. Weirdly enough, I'm eating a lot more seeds than I've ever eaten in my life. So
we have some seeds.
Like seeds with the fats in them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Really, Colin's very keen on fats from seeds as well.
Yeah, so
what other seeds are you eating? Sunflower, pumpkin?
Sunflower and pumpkin, yeah. So pumpkin usually on my rest day at the last meal, 30 minutes before bed. Very light. It's just protein, peanut butter and seeds. But I think the peanut butter was cut last week. Yeah, now I'm on like 15 grams peanut butter.
That's an insult.
No more. But it's good because I think the carbs and fats playing around with them, the protein went up high.
But they do protein differently.
Yeah, it's very...
Tell us.
So with what I've learned from this, it's, because I told him my goal is bodybuilding, maybe competitive, who knows. Like classic physique is the plan. So with the plan now, the protein is only counted in terms of complete protein. So any protein in oats, any protein in PB, my fitness pal counts all of it. We're not counting that. We're counting, I'm eating steak for protein. So we're only taking the protein and maybe the fat.
I know, because he's given you an actual meal plan, hasn't he?
Yeah, you have a plan for training day, rest day, and the weekends, because the weekend wake up a bit, later than usual days, work days. So, and then the rotation we continued the pull push legs, which I changed we started November when I was doing a mini cut.
Yeah.
So the plan was just to continue cleaning up the diet. So I'm on a nice cut at 3,100 calories. I'm complaining, but I know a lot of people who that's like their bulk calories. So
there's no complaining here.
Yeah, it's
he complains and then he's like, "Oh, I'm so full." What kind of deficit is this?
It's like I'm always either so hungry.
My life revolves around his meals. He's like, "Well, I can't come out walking. I've got to eat." It's like, oh, it's.
I know it's just different. Like it's all very timed. So if it's eat time, it's eat then walk. There's no two ways to eat time. But it's not that strict. It's just I've been given hours in case tomorrow I wake up an hour later. So there's a protocol to follow. It's not very. Yeah.
Calorie wise, is there I'll say macro wise, is there less carbs, more fats on rest days?
On rest days, yeah, the fats are about the same. It's the carbs. Carbs are lower on rest days. But
Okay, so yeah, you got lower calories on the rest day essentially.
yeah.
Protein stays the same.
Yeah, and then steps went up, so NEAT went up. And then another new thing we learned, we don't count NEAT during training. So training
Yeah.
NEAT is,
I never have. Although I keep my watch on, I always say what's accumulated during training isn't classed as like my steps.
Yeah, so we removed the watch because now that doesn't count. And yeah, so now extra walks, it's all right, but it's just a different way to look at things. Because I remember on rest days, I used to struggle getting steps more than training days, and training days were easier, but I can see why it's, training steps.
Yeah.
It is neat, but it's not really actual non-exercise because I'm exercising. So it's
I think I was watching something the other day, and some sciencey podcast, can't remember.
Yeah.
It might have been Lane Norton actually talking about it. Walking isn't actually neat, is it?
No, it's not. No.
Walking is actually exercise.
It is
It's a
fun,
good
yeah.
point. But a lot of people confuse what neat is, but when we talk about it on here with steps, it's actually just our baseline activity levels rather than true neat. It's what's it? BAL, baseline activity levels. There you go.
Yeah.
Coin that. I'll trademark that after the show.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
what's your BAL?
I guess we've always said like steps is just a way of manipulating and it's like artificial need kind of thing.
It's like a very easy way to calculate your need, which everyone can do, like, without having to think so much.
It's about having that line to work from and be consistent with that baseline.
Because I think it's nice because if you think about it, people have different jobs, people do different activities, but walking is the one thing everyone can sort of track the same. So
Walking is easy because it's, as we said on the show loads of times, it's not for the joints and body, or it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You, what's your
what are you up to?
Yeah.
You still cutting?
I am. I've had a couple of diet breaks since, and things are getting pretty grim at the moment.
She's been sushi dreaming.
I suddenly got to the point where I'm saving like donut pictures on my phone.
Yeah, we like those.
The last 2 weeks of prep.
But no, it's
what were your calories?
They're not that bad considering. So my because I started to carb cycle because I was just finding training days it was getting really tough, and I don't like not feeling strong in my session. So non-training days is 1500, which is it's not that bad. It feels bad, and then I'll bring it up to 1700 for training days.
It's a doable. I've been on a diet that takes me down to 1700. So
it's totally doable. But I am feeling it now. Before it was easy, but I'm about 9 kilos down since I started. I want to get down to 10 kilos, so I'll be 58 kilos at the end of Feb, and then I want to go back to maintenance for 3 months.
That makes sense.
And then cut again, because now if I want to get leaner, I don't want to go to miserable calories. Because I'm not dieting for a show or anything like that. I just want to bring them up, get all the hormonal markers and everything good, and just focus on getting strong again, and then cut from higher calories, which would be great. See how that goes. And then training, I've been pretty much doing what Leon is doing. I went from your split, Andy, to just a plain push-pull legs, and absolutely love that. It's just worked really well for me, because I was finding with just a one rest day a week, I just couldn't.
It was killing you.
My recoverability was just not good at all. And even cardio, I've actually stopped doing extra cardio. I've just not been able to recover, but my weight is still going down. And I think another reason for that is due to taking the watch off during workouts. So my NEAT has increased.
Yeah, exactly. So your activity level's gone up anyway.
So I'm not even doing extra cardio. I just do about 15K steps a day, and then it's push-pull legs. So it's push, pull, rest, legs, rest, repeat. And seems to be working well. And we've both been, allergy has been trying to get us. So if we overtrain, we just feel it immediately. So that's why I pulled the cardio back. So I was swimming, which I love. And yeah, when feel back to 100%, we'll bring that back in. Because that's just
swimming. I don't know, for me anyway, it's recovery from swimming. Although it's not high impact, it's high cardiovascular. Especially, I'm quite a good swimmer, but I'm not a very good technical swimmer. So I burn a lot of excess calories using the technique.
Yeah, that's me. I'm not. I'm
and then I'm knackered. I'm knackered after swimming. I'm like,
tiring.
Yeah.
It's so tiring.
Yeah.
Wow. And I mean, 30 minutes. I mean, for me, like the sort of what the watch says is maybe it's like 276 calories, which it is the best full body.
Yeah, because I'm also allowed to do it only on rest days. It's the only sort of cardio I'm allowed to do. It's rest day swims, which told him it's a 12-meter pool. He was like, perfect, just do that. So, and with Clea, when she's doing for every 3 laps she does, I'm doing 1, and it's a very strenuous one, like I'm
very splashy one. Lots of splashing.
It's like swimming with a hippo. And then I'm like stroking on water from waves. That
like the amount of energy I'm using for 1 lap. Oh, geez. But yeah, it works. So
the joys of having steps as your cardio is that you can always add an extra walk a day.
Yeah.
Like if you start off, like, people realize when you're programming, start off with one walking session, be it in the morning or evening, then add another, be it morning or evening. That's it. Then you need to add an extra session to up your cardio. Have a lunchtime walk as well.
Exactly. No, I find it has been so effective, and because I love walking, it's not a chore. Whereas if I think I was doing sort of skipping intervals, that was hard. But like you say, you just add in an extra walk, even if it's 10 or 15 minutes. That's a couple of thousand steps. So
most of the guys I do keep cardio, but I always say to them, it's not for activity level. It is purely for heart rate. So let's try and keep it not too long. Intensity. Let's get your heart rate over 120 beats per minute, up to 140 area, and then cut it down, because I do believe heart health is still important. I don't think enough people heart rate up.
Yeah, because our training is pretty much high frequency but low volume, so and obviously high intensity. So by the time you're done, it's as if you've been doing sprints.
Well, that's what I say. And this is the thing, And if you're training someone who you are sure is got the intensity on level, you can actually ease up on cardio and up calories a bit. Yeah. But if you're not sure, like for a lot of guys, unless you train with them, you're never too sure. So you've got to add a little bit extra volume in just to be on the safe side.
Yep.
And then make sure the calories aren't too high, and then adjust accordingly.
100%, because it's taken, Leon, you got the high intensity training, like you got it. It took me a while because I was attached to my volume a little bit, but now I understand how to do it. But you do need to work with someone who pushes themselves to that point, because otherwise you'd be like, oh, I'm high intensity training, but you're not, and then you're not going to get the benefits from it.
Anyone new to sport, so I was going to say, anyone new to sport, get on YouTube and watch Blood and Guts.
See,
That is like
it does help.
the
Yeah.
birthplace of high intensity training. Like Dorian Yates and Leroy Davis. Leroy screaming at Dorian, right? That is what it's about. It's about pushing yourself until literally you can't do much more.
Yeah.
Dorian, I mean, trained about 4 times a week, because he needed to recover because his intensity was so high.
And I think for me, it's why, like, even when you sent the JP is open for coaching, because I'd been following, and that's the sort of training, and he trains with his girlfriend Corinne, so it was perfect. We just watch it, and every time you're thinking, gosh, I thought I pushed myself last time, but man,
and our strength is insane.
Yeah, and every session is different, because as much as some sessions you just try, and like today it was really hard, but you just try your best. That because intensity will change as you train and go along. So,
but it does take a while to know what
that
intensity is, because you're doing one top set, and if you don't understand how to push that training, then you're not going to get results.
Yeah.
You know what? There's nothing worse, and I've done this a few times. You choose a weight for your top set, and you're actually a little bit stronger that day.
Yeah.
You end up meant to be hitting 8 reps, and you reach 10, and you're like, oh shit. So you think to yourself, I better do an extra set.
Yeah.
Put a bit more. It's just knackering.
For now, for us, what JP did is, like, if it's like that day, rep it out. Just until
failure anyway. Whether
if your head was in 7 and you make it to 13, rack it and just go to your notebook and tell yourself, crap. Next week is
increase that weight.
And it's good. It just because I was used to, you have your way back, I guess, 4 times 12, and you rep it out 12, and when I reach 12, it's like
you stop.
Yeah, it's 12. I'm done. So
even if you're tired or not, and
that's the thing. I'm really good at now reaching failure, and I have done for the while. Actually, reaching failure, and not being worried about plates.
Mm-hmm.
I always say the best thing people about failure is I say go on a machine like a chest press machine, and just keep going until you literally get slammed back into the machine. You're very unlikely to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
If you do it with 3 reps first time around, you're likely to hurt yourself. But if you failed a couple of times on the machine, the worst that's going to happen is to make loud noise in the gym. You might get told. But that's a lesson worth finding and getting told off.
That's why your pendulum is amazing, because if you fail, you sit down, get off the machine.
I wish it had a bit of better safety. The safety on it's really low.
Yeah.
Because it is like a box.
Yeah,
that's a bit
worrying. Do it on a safe machine.
You mean on a little bit of wood, so it's a bit longer, but but it's been fine. I can always struggle out of the hole.
And I thought, I guess this just leads well into, it's your training and nutrition is very different if you are, like Andy, you're training for a competition, Leon is training for a potential competition. Being a bodybuilder, it's different. Like with general pop, we're saying, work on your big rocks first, get those in place. Meal timing is not as important as your sort of overall calories and protein and things like that. But when you now get to where these guys are, it's those small things now that make a huge difference. Your meal timing, what kind of fats you're getting in, when, and, your protein intake, and like this kind of training, learning how to like really push yourself. So and I think so if you're just starting out, you do not need to do that. You don't need to be
you don't need to be timing your meals
no, exactly. And this is what people get wrong. They try to copy like the guys in Men's Health back in the day, or Flex magazine. I look at this bodybuilder's diet, so I eat this To be fair, if your sole goal is to lose weight and look okay with it, make sure you know where your protein levels are, where your maintenance calories are, and carbs and fats, let them flip-flop as the day allows. Hit your protein. That will give you generally a good look. When you want to improve and get down to those fine margins, then you're looking at getting everything spot on, timing, recovery timing, little things like when you finish training, I don't eat straight away because after training, your stomach acid, your heart rate's too high and your stomach acid's all over the show.
Yeah.
So wait for your heart rate to return to a base level, then eat. And things like I time all my fluids throughout the day at the moment, because I had like different vitamins and like I have a lot of effervescent tablets at the moment in my water. So I can time when I have those throughout the day, as and when there's training, let's get some magnesium in after training because, we are starting some metabolic processes, things like that, and, there are sort of margins you need when you want to be competitive. But they're not the things everyday people need to worry about. You just need to worry about, if you want to lose weight, be in a calorie deficit while hitting your protein levels.
Yep. And I mean, Leon's having a coach, it's been a real eye opener, actually. Yeah. And very, very interesting because, I mean, they have a different, each coach has a different approach and and I mean, like for you, it's to grow, but not get too much, to accumulate too much body fat.
Because now, actually, that's why it's more of a cut, but it's just trying to get into a nice condition where we can start muscle building.
Trying to get like a rebound, force a rebound.
Yeah, because he said it was good. I did the 1 year and just went crazy on the
peanut butter,
the food. Yeah. So now when we're doing this, the food is still a lot. If you look at it, it's quite a bit of food, and I've come down about 2.8 kilos maybe since we started. So it's good. Shape is coming back. Getting good, like a good pump at the gym. So. And it's nice to have someone else to worry about my nutrition because all I do is key it into my FitnessPal when I get a new protocol just to find out the protein, carbs, fats, and then the rest, I just take my notes down according to what I've been told. So it is nice to have someone else.
It's nice that he took you on because he had said he was going to take people on, but he only wanted people who are serious.
Yeah.
He saw and what you wrote, but you're serious because he doesn't need to coach. JP loves coaching. He doesn't need to do it. He makes enough money from his site, from his supplements, from his clothing. For him, training is about a passion. And same with Colin. They coach people because they're passionate about it. Yeah. I know he sort of fell out of love with it for a short while. That's why he stopped taking people on. I think he's only going to take serious people on.
Yeah, and I get that. Because I mean, you do get some clients who aren't very serious, and it's a waste of everybody's time.
Yeah.
So I can see where you came from with that, but
and it's a really good opportunity to learn because, like last year with the mentoring with Ollie, that was more on the business side. So I've always wanted to coach like competitors. So there's more learning on this side, and we're both learning. So it's nice to learn from all these guys. And
I'm getting left out here. I need a coach.
Corey.
Yeah. I don't know. I love her. So that would be
my education. I've been spending a lot of time, chatting to Dr. Dean St. Mark.
Yes, he's
chemist, organic chemist. So I've learned a lot about body process, in our chats and about when you look at blood work, which things to what, and metabolic things to look out for, which has been pretty cool. We have a call every couple of months for an hour. The last one ended up moaning about COVID for a bit, but because he's
it has to happen.
But no, it's good. You try to learn where you can. Obviously, I'm still with Ollie, and it's going great. He's got a great new app for us to log in, which links directly to MyFitnessPal. So it just takes carbs, grams, and fats and sticks them straight into the app.
Yeah, that's True Coach, right?
Yeah, it is amazing.
Yeah, True Coach. I love True Coach. It's really good.
We got it at the beginning of last year. It's just amazing. It's so easy and user friendly. It helped us a lot.
True Coach is good. I'm a big fan.
Simple, and then you're not keying in everything every day. It just goes.
Yes, clients love it, so it's perfect.
So I just thought maybe we can touch on some topics that we've. Well, I know, Andy, we were having a good chuckle about the old body fat percentage on
the scale.
On the scales, and I can't believe it told me I was 35% body fat.
Yeah, I was like, if I check,
let's talk about this. Let's go straight into old electrical impedance testing and what utter nonsense it truly is. And I see people, and it drives me mad. I see people post on their Instagram story the little thing of their percentage of body fat taken from the scales. Oh, my body fat's gone down. I'm 12% body fat. You look at them; they look like they're built like a sausage. At least 25% body fat, but they're well hydrated that day. Oh, I've lost 10% body fat in a couple of weeks. No, maybe you have. But the fact is, that can't tell you. There's too many variables. It's just the most pointless thing in the world.
It is. And sorry, I was just going to say that at first I was like, oh, it might be good for like relativity. But even that, it's not. It's so inconsistent.
Accurate.
It's not even worth to compare if you're gaining or losing, because like you said, there's just so many variables. So it is the most pointless function on that scale, and the same with it telling you what your lean muscle mass is. It just can't. So
in terms of
too many variables.
I'm just saying, in terms of business, the guys who came up with it, they were smart. It's up there with the detox and fit teas, because I'm sure they sold a lot of skills, but
there's a better one. The better one is one by Omeron, where you hold a handle.
Yeah,
even that, there's so many still variables. These that goes through your shoulders, doesn't just go across your
legs.
But there's still so many variables, and that thing costs quite a lot of money. And you're like,
it is expensive,
if you really find body fat that important, go find a university that has a DEXA scan, or there's a couple of other methods now using like infrared light, which some universities are using, or there's a float test. Accurate ones. Even those have a margin of 5%, and the difference between 5% body fat and 10% body fat is quite vast. So it is pointless. One way of doing it is go get an X-ray and then look at the area around your around your bone, and you can actually see the colour difference between fat and muscle. Who won't get X-rayed all the time,
Yeah.
You want kids anyway.
So good.
Would not be good.
But the thing is, it's like, why are you so fixated on body fat percentage? Like you said, Andy, look at yourself in the mirror and base it on that. Your body fat percentage is not going to determine how you train, or anything like that. It's a weird thing.
I used to get asked just before I would step on stage, what body fat percentage are you? I'm now sub 10, because you can see pretty much any bit of gristle not in my muscle. But I can tell you if I was 8%, 5%, because why would I? No, as long as you look good, you look good. Huh. No pro bodybuilder knows their body fat percentage. Yeah,
there's no, when you're feeling in the competitor form, they do not ask,
what body fat percentage body fat.
Exactly, you're on stage, the judge shouts out, so what body fat percentage is
like
it matters not. It matters not, and it just becomes a pissing contest. People trying to feel good about themselves rather than posting a photo of themselves because they're not confident. They try to lean back on this body fat percentage. Reality is, just look in the mirror. You'll know when you're lean and be happy with that. And you won't probably be. Most people are happy, even when you're lean.
Yeah.
You want to back with yourself. Oh, actually, look.
Yeah, you cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
It's not until you ever look back it's not until you look back at a photo of yourself.
Yeah.
Are you ever happy with how you look?
Yeah, I was going to say photos. Just they're the best. Mirror photos.
Yeah, and how you feel.
And yes,
like in your clothes
time.
and things like that.
Progress. See how far you've come rather than looking at that number.
Yeah, so don't get into buying scales just to get your body fat percentage on them, or because some influencer is being like, oh yeah, I gained 1% of lean body mass this week.
Yeah, because
no,
a lot of people, I guess, focus too much on the numbers and the physical, and just don't give enough credit on mental, how you feel mentally and emotionally. Like you've been training for a year. It's 1 year down, you're feeling nice, the dress or the trousers you haven't worn in a long time, you're more confident in public. I guess people don't really focus on those wins, and it's more like, oh, body fat, weight, and I guess the things that will give you more stress, and you forget the process, the journey, and how far you've come.
And that's it. Just concentrate on how far you've come.
Yeah. Another thing, and I think Leon posted about this yesterday, it's just come up quite a lot recently, is functional training. Oh, no, just how everyone's like, how obsessed people get with functional training and what they think is functional training. And like normally when people say to me functional training, they're thinking of CrossFit or combination movements and things like that, and it's just there's just so much nonsense out there about what functional training is. And
even CrossFit's not functional training. You tell me what function walking on your hands is.
Yeah, it's functional. Well, exactly. It's just functional for CrossFit competition. Yeah, exactly.
Like functional training would be pick that box up and lift it onto a table. Go pick some washing up over there. Move it to your bed. That's functional to day to day. It's not, what's going to help you day to day. Olympic lifts aren't functional training. Hitting a hammer on a tire training, unless that's your job, and it's a weird job at that.
Yeah, it's become a very abused word, and a lot of clients are getting confused because they're like,
I want to do functional training.
And you're like, but your goals say these are your goals, and we are doing what will get you there. So when you ask them what's functional, and they show you a video and you find it's someone doing a burpee, flying off a bench, or rolling under carpet, or so it's
ninja, and your job's being a ninja, you don't need to do half that.
It's not, and I know it's not sexy, but getting strong at basic movements, I think that is one of the most functional things that you can do. In all honesty.
Yeah, because it's like you say, picking up a box, doing a deadlift over time, and as you get older, that'll help. It's functional. It's very, like if we're looking at doing squats things, but a lot of movements people want to, I'd say, sell as functional. It's just functional for that particular, I guess, sport goal. Or
like when I was rugby training, I was doing functional training, functional for rugby. Yeah. It wasn't functional to everyday life. It was functional for that thing. A bit like if I was to climb a mountain, I was going to say, I'm going to do an ascent of Everest. I would start doing functional training for that task.
Exactly.
Like, and that would be like pack walking, carrying a load on my back, farmer's walks and stuff like that. But if your goal is to lose body fat and get the muscles, functional training is being in the gym, using free weights, cables, machines. That is functional to your goal.
Yeah, 100%. It's just come up a lot recently, and it's become one of my pet peeves.
Yeah, I saw that because I'd written it way back, and I think I was scared of posting it because, back then scared of the backlash, but now I'm like,
it gets a point. You're like, this is just too much.
Love a bit of backlash.
Yeah.
And it really has been, I guess, misused or abused.
Yeah, and it's just seen as sexy and fashionable to be like, oh, yeah, I do functional training.
True.
Yeah, it was a bit like functional training's become the new CrossFit.
Yeah, they're like, no, I don't do CrossFit. I do functional training.
Everyone wants to do CrossFit. Now everyone wants to be functional training. Most of you work in an office. All you need to do is be able to pick your pen up.
Yeah, and get finger weights if you're typing and do something.
Exactly, geez, that's awful.
Crazy. It was interesting, Andy, what you said just before we started, that when you were in the UK, you got a lot of youngsters asking you about starting to take drugs.
Like, it tends to be like people in passing, or like a gym, or brothers of friends, young, like if they're late teens, early 20s.
Wow.
And they're like, because in the UK, performance enhancing drugs now are used almost day to day by some people, just to look good in the club and on the beach. And so it's sad, the situation that's come, because they're not illegal in the UK to have in your possession. It's legal to buy and sell, but once they're in your possession, that's fine. But the problem is, and something people don't realize, is the role of hormones in development. If you're still in puberty and you start messing with testosterone, you are going to switch off certain points of your development. And people realize, actually, I was saying this to Clea before, testosterone actually prevents height. So people who have testosterone surge early in their puberty tend to end up being shorter, because it's a balance of estrogen. The estrogen helps you grow in height, and while the testosterone helps you. That's why a lot of lads who are tall when you're at school tend to be quite skinny, because their testosterone boost comes later. Mm-hmm. So what you have is, if you start taking exogenous hormones on top of that, you are going to start switching off certain biological function, your pituitary gland signaling. You can, this is the one that people don't realize. It's potential as a man to stop your penis from growing by taking exogenous hormone. And people won't realize this, because there's that signal from your pituitary gland to your body to increase your sex organ size as part of puberty. Now, if you are taking exogenous, your pituitary gland doesn't need to do that. And then if that's used in other function, it is not being used where it needs to be used. And, it's all part and parcel. So you could end up being lanky with a small penis. And who wants that? So leave the steroids alone until you're a bit older.
I know, that is so young. That's really interesting. I didn't know that. And I just find that quite shocking that you're that young and you're like, I want to just, skip straight ahead.
It's social media. It's a world of social media now. Everyone wants to be like their favorite influencer. They see these guys living up in Dubai, shredded, on the beach in Dubai, leaning against a Lamborghini that's not theirs. But, to a young lad seeing that, they go, I want that life.
Yeah.
So that's going to start with me being ripped and, lads' holidays, being ripped and everyone standing around, shredded. Where the reality is, you finish puberty before you even think about it.
Step 1, then step 2, put in the work.
Oh yeah.
Well, exactly right. There is no reason for you to be taking steroids unless you're, me and Leo were having this conversation earlier actually about how, and I'll say it, because I don't care, nearly, I would say 90% of all Olympic competitors are using some sort of PD. Where they get caught and they manage their cycles really well, so they don't get caught during competition time. The ones that do have just messed up by taking an injection too close to competition.
Yeah.
If you're those people, and to even the playing field, a bit like when you're a professional bodybuilder, the playing field to be even, you've got to be taking, otherwise you're at a disadvantage. As soon as you leave that playing field, then take it. So only once you've maximized everything and you've got a very good reason, then you use performance enhancing drugs, because there's a lot of negatives to it. And once you start, that's it. That's your life.
Yes.
Potentially, you may be able to get your levels back, but you may not be able to. So you may be stuck on some sort of form of testosterone for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's crazy. Especially you can imagine if you started at 16 and then what?
That's just...
Yeah.
By 20.
You never probably finish puberty. But this is like saying in that the podcast on the menstrual cycle, Victoria, she was saying about girls taking birth control pills. It's the same thing. You're not allowing natural puberty to occur because you've now started throwing hormones at the problem, and it switches off certain functions.
Yeah, no, well, I think that's a really good topic. And at least, well, not that I've heard here, people don't want to sort of start so young, but, I think even 30 is young.
Yeah, I guess it depends on your
of course sport, it depends on a lot, but
even for just to go look good at the beach, it's too much risk to just for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the question is, who is giving the advice?
Yeah,
because you need to get proper advice from proper people. And no one who actually knows what they're talking about would suggest that someone who's a teenager or someone even up in their early 20s should be taking PEDs.
Exactly.
But what happens is a guy at the back of a gym who's selling them will convince some kid to buy them.
True. You want to get jacked? Take this.
Come with me.
And this.
Exactly.
Right. Well, let's get into some questions. I think let's start with this one. What are your thoughts on ketone drinks? I've seen a couple of ketone drinks here, and I see quite a few adverts.
I've even tried one before.
Don't.
I wouldn't say no. It was maybe back in Trojan days. I tried one, but
ketones.
I don't know what I expected from it, but
it's a big thing that the celebs are pushing now. Ketones. I know, like Herbalife trying to sell things like this. I've seen people in my friend thing selling ketones, saying, "Oh, you can do this. This will push you into ketosis. Your fat is in it. You can carb." It's all bullshit because and the argument is, you take a keto stick to tell you if you're in ketosis and you feel it, or you're in ketosis. Yeah, of course it is, because you just drank a load of
ketones.
You go straight into your bloodstream. It's a bit like taking glucose and having a blood glucose test.
Yeah.
It's going to be really high because you're just taking a low glucose. It doesn't mean you're in ketosis, because you cannot get in ketosis immediately or within an hour.
It takes time.
Yeah. And the fact is, unless you are an epileptic, you don't necessarily need to be on a ketogenic diet. It's good for diabetes, it's good for epilepsy, it's good for blood issues. Exogenous ketones is the fats version of drinking a load of sugar water. You are just taking extra energy. You're not going to be burning anything because you've got this freely available source of energy. So it's actually counterproductive. I remember having this argument with someone I know who was selling it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I fast. I just have my ketones." I said, "Well, when you're not fasting, are you?" Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm fasting. I've just had a load of sugar. I've just had 10 tablespoons. That's not fasting. It's the same. It's the equivalent. It's like you are getting your energy from a ketone, which is exogenous. It's not your body producing this. Yeah. You're drinking it. It's like Lucozade. No different.
That's a very good description. So if you're ever being seduced by ketone drinks, don't.
Yeah, they're crap.
The only reason I drink one is if they were tasty. You realise you have on your diet, so
Yeah, the one I tried during my first prep because I was told the ketones, and I'm like, okay,
Ketones.
and it was raspberry flavor, and you're like, okay, this,
Yeah.
oh gosh,
Make them slimmer.
Yeah.
and yeah, your prep is going and dieting, and I can take my ketones before workout, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe this ketone thing is because I'm feeling near the pump, you're getting vascular. Well, it's a sugar, but you're like, yeah, this ketone thing, I could. Oh, geez.
Oh boy.
Never again.
It's just, again, it's that magic bullet people are looking for, a shortcut instead of actually putting all the actual hard work in.
Yeah, and keto it's still seductive. It's still so seductive.
Keto as a diet's fine if you've got a reason to do it, or it is a way for you to lose weight that you can keep to. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, if you can keep to.
It's still a calorie deficit. Unless you've got a blood glucose thing, like I reduce my carbs out of higher fat just because of my blood glucose.
Yeah.
So if you're like pre-diabetic, diabetic, it's good to do keto. It's good to do if you're a bodybuilder occasionally to make yourself insulin sensitive again. But most guys will get into that as they get close to competition day.
Yeah.
There'll be a period where carbs drop low for them and your body can reset. But for the average person, before calories in versus calories out, whilst keeping your protein at a good level. Try and do that in the healthiest way possible with lots of vegetables, and you shouldn't be demonizing fruit. And this is my problem with keto diet. Fruit has a place in a healthy diet. It does. It's it has a very good place in that diet. Vegetables, potatoes, they all have a place in a diet. Bit like everything else. So excess of any one thing, too much peanut butter will go straight to Leon's cheeks.
Oh yeah.
You realise.
And then he'll just drink ketones and they'll go.
I miss my peanut butter. I won't lie. That was the best meal of the day. Lots of ketones.
Lots of ketones. Oh dear.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, this question is fun. If we were really rich, do we have to choose an amount? Okay, so if you had 1,000.
No, I think they asked me this question, and what I can gather is you've got three amounts. What changes? So when you've got the amount, what would you buy? You got middling amount, what would you buy? And then now you're loaded, what would you buy?
Okay, so if you had $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, what equipment would you get for home? So let's start with 1,000. That's not much. That's like what, 100K? 100,000-ish?
I guess.
Yeah, I'd say 130,000 shillings.
130,000. Well, I would get a selection of dumbbells for sure.
Yeah.
I would get a good bench, an adjustable bench. I would get a squat rack. Because I think by the time you've got all your free weights, a squat rack, they're quite expensive.
Yeah.
I think you'd be pushing already. I think on the squat rack alone.
I think, with 1,000, same. Bench, dumbbells. I guess.
Bands.
Yeah, bench, dumbbells, barbell, and weight plates. Pretty much. Yeah, that's it. And he's frozen.
He's looking very cheerful though.
Yeah, for me it's because dumbbells are not cheap. Because
they're not.
You're buying them.
Under your back. Sorry, you froze for a second.
I was saying, like for me, I would be getting barbell sets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think games like that. So barbell set and a dumbbell set.
Yeah.
Right. And then I would buy additional plates for those sets that fit. Then I would get a decent bench, and I would get a barbell stand, adjustable, so it could be used for squats or it could be used on the bench. To be fair, I put most of my money into a good bench and as many plates as I could afford.
Yeah,
I think that's very smart because you can do really well with free weights and but having lots of plates and like little ones as well, that helps.
Yeah, that's
big time.
I think that's as much as $1,000.
Yeah, because weights are expensive here.
Mm-hmm. You're buying per kilo.
Okay, let's say we're a little bit more loaded, $5,000 now. Now you could probably get a machine or two with that.
I would probably start with a squat rack, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Get a decent squat rack. Maybe something like what you guys have got with pulleys on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And then some sort of crossover, and then all the bars and dumbbells and plates.
Yeah.
I don't think you need much more than that for 5,000.
Yeah.
Cardio you can still get with your but like a pulley, low pull, high pull, and a crossover of some description, and you've covered pretty much everything.
Yeah, I'd get $1,000. You have all the plates, dumbbells, bench, so you have 4K. I'd get the Arsenal strength thing, like the one you can deadlift. I think you've sent the picture.
The one I'm gonna get made.
Yeah, so you can press, deadlift, pull, shrug. All it's very multifunctional. And then
functional training.
And then hack squat leg press combo.
Wait, with $5,000?
Yeah, that's it. Done. Because each would probably cost, say, 2,000, 1,000.
Yeah, you get made locally. Get made locally. We could probably squeeze it out.
Yeah.
I think you couldn't import a hack squat for.
No, hack
Let's
leg
wait till we
press.
get to 10,000.
No, hack leg press combos are cheap in China.
Yeah, but we're not in China.
I hear you. Yeah, I'd probably be able to ship in one week, $2,000 if you think about it.
Well, I would
if we're buying stuff here, $5,000 is getting you nothing. If it's stuff from shops here, unless I'll just go to Simon and tell.
Maybe.
Yeah, because Simon has amazing stuff, but other stores, $5,000, you're living with dumbbells.
Yeah.
And that's not even a treadmill.
But I would get like the machine we have with pulleys, because I think that's what we definitely struggled with the most with free weights, is like getting really good back training and pull training. Pulley system, like you said, any high and low, you a whole world has opened up to you. True. And that was 110,000 shillings.
And it's plate loaded. And so plate loaded, it's very, you can load it up to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You said, so if you've got plate loaded, you don't need to buy more plates because you've got bars anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to make, when you're low on budget and you're trying to make a home gym, especially now in this world of COVID and lockdown, you've got to make the most with the least amount of space. So you need space saving options.
Yeah. A lot of combination.
The biggest variety.
Yeah. Okay, so we're loaded. We have $10,000 now.
Yeah, well, great gym now.
I think I'll register. Yeah.
The hack squat.
Table, hack leg combo, all the machines we've ever leg shared. Yeah, but
leg press.
But yeah, if
love a leg press.
Yeah, I know the hack leg press combo is a good one.
Hack leg, that is a good one. Pendulum, that a good leg extension hamstring curl combo.
Yeah,
because don't forget, you still don't have more space, so you still need to be able to get the most out of what you've got.
Yeah.
So an abductor machine, because adductors, less so than abductors are hard to replicate. I've done with cables, they're still hard to replicate.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could have a good chest press to lat pull down station, like.
But even if you have the cable, say with the plate loaded one and the multiplex machine, you don't even need the chest press. Yeah. So yeah, you could end up saving.
Yeah.
Dude, you have a really nice home gym, $1 million shillings, I reckon. Less than $10,000. Yeah, $1 million shillings. It's about right. $10,000. You could have like an amazing home gym.
Really nice, really yeah.
With all the weights you ever need.
Yep. Well, exactly.
True.
Right. So maybe let's combine the last two questions.
By the way, before you even finished, I think we've been asked this question like before, and again, none of you mentioned a cardio machine.
Oh, that's how funny. Yeah, we were. No trouble.
Again.
Okay, well, I would get an assault bike.
Yeah, I guess the same. It's
yeah, anything human powered. So an assault bike.
Yeah, rower.
A stick bike, even, or the aero run machine.
Yeah.
Or Jacob's ladder. That's all.
Oh, that one looks quite fun.
They're good as well.
Yeah, and it's mechanical,
like
so perfect.
Yeah.
Nothing electrical.
No,
because too much to go wrong. If you got it at home, you don't want to be maintaining it.
No, power cuts here. No. That's funny though. You can tell we're not into that. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna combine the last two questions. So, how do you know when you're ready to compete? And which muscles are most important for men's physique, and how would you prioritize them? Gentlemen.
Yeah, I think this comes two questions, right? When are you ready to compete? What class you should do? And then we can talk about the sort of men's physique and that. But yeah, it's a weird one because I've been asked this recently. Yeah, that's why I shared the question. It's like, you're ready to compete when you're ready to compete. If you want to win, though, if you're super competitive, you need to make sure you're going to be competitive on stage. But it's a bit like most things in life. You're only ready when you're ready. You don't necessarily know you're going to be ready until you jump in and do it.
Yeah.
And I say to people, I have people, say, "Oh, I think I can get a pro card." All right, well done. Have you competed yet? No. Right. So, how do you know you even like competing?
Oh, yeah.
You may not even like being up on stage. You may not like imposing routines, or best thing is you love training. Great. You don't have to compete if you love training. The competition bit's separate. You've got to want to compete. And so you've got to get on stage at some point to see if you enjoy competition, and what goes with that, all the mind games that you play on yourself.
I think it's one of those you have to get up there to sort of also know where you are compared to the people of your class you're trying to compete with, because you could be up there and maybe you're bigger than the guys in the class you're competing with, or even smaller. So you really do have to get on stage to know, to be honest.
You've got to love it. There's no point doing something if you're not 100% into it.
Yeah.
If you love training and that's what you actually love, you don't have to compete.
Nope.
A lot of people are now jumping into competition just to put something on social media. Yeah. They may do one competition, never do another one. You've actually got to enjoy that part as well.
Yeah.
And but you got to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And like being okay with, your calories getting low, being okay with having to sacrifice a lot. And your partner or friends or family, potentially not really understanding what you're doing, maybe not being the most supportive. So that it's extreme. It's extreme.
It's hard.
Yeah.
A load of people you don't know sit there and judge you.
Yeah.
I know.
Tell me most of the time you are not good enough.
I know it is one of those. Are you comfortable being judged by
what you look like?
Yeah, by your, it's how no one cares about you're a good person, you're doing, it's
what do you look like?
So
yeah.
If that messes with you mentally, competing will not put you in a good place.
Because here's the thing, you could be the best physique in your gym. You can be the biggest guy in your gym, but when you step on stage, you're not gonna. You could be the last call out. You've got to be able to be willing enough to stand there and have people say you're not that good, and understand that and understand where you've got to grow. Because that's essentially what it is. Like the judges, they don't give you positive feedback. The average is you need to be bigger, or you need to be in shape. That's feedback, and. Problem is, and what makes I look back at that last competition in Kenya, the Iron Shafi one before Christmas. and there were people on stage that weren't ready to be on stage, which is fine, you know, as long as they were happy. But here's the thing: when you look back at photos, you have to be willing enough to say, yeah, I wasn't even close.
Yeah.
We'll go back to the drawing board, start again. Because to be fair, most of the time in bodybuilding, unless you're Phil Heath and you won nearly all your shows, most of it isn't winning. Most of it's coming, you know, losing, you know, being second place or third place and never having it quite right.
Yeah, because I think people forget in like when you're on stage, you're not being judged with the muscles and body parts you have. It's what you don't have. That's what.
Yes.
No one. It's like, yeah, what is missing, and then you get points from that. It's not what you have. So yeah, it's like you said, you could be the biggest. You know, you look nice in the gym or on Instagram pictures, and then you're up on stage, and it's like a whole different.
Yeah, it's like when you went to the UK and competed there the first time. That was.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like
all those guys that started their peds at 16.
I know it didn't really bother me, but yeah, you realize, okay, the size,
I'm a small guy.
The size difference here is.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like my last show, I came third, and I thought I was in a lot better shape than the guy who came second. I was in better condition. Ollie both said you're in better condition. He was just bigger.
Yeah.
And that's not saying you can't fake that. You can't cut your calories to be bigger.
Nope.
You know, that takes time. And you got to look back and say, yeah, I just need a bit more time.
Yeah, and that's a good thing because you got on stage, you got the feedback, and then you go back and
work.
The
thing is, you don't need judges' feedback. You've got to be able to stand there and be honest with yourself. Say, yeah, I wasn't as big as him.
Yeah.
That's why you need The guy who won the show was in the same condition as me and bigger.
Yeah.
He deserves to win. And that's what you say. He deserves to win. Yeah, and that's the thing. And it's also about picking the right class.
Yeah.
Because not everyone should be doing men's physique.
Nope.
Yeah. Gone are the days where it was an attainable thing, where it could be your first category to go into. Now, to be a decent men's physique guy, you've got to have narrow waist, wide shoulders, but almost an overexpanded upper body.
Yeah.
Really thick arms and shoulders. Yep. Chest not so much. Width on your back, but maybe not so much depth. You know, the fact is your upper body has to outshadow your lower body.
Yeah.
Now, classic is about proportions.
Yeah, individual.
Yeah, you got that X-frame.
Yeah, because I was telling guys I just used men's physique just to test the waters because I knew going to the UK guys I knew guys are bigger, so let me use this opportunity because I enjoy the stage to see what we're dealing with. So after now, as you can see, I'm taking my time.
Which is, and it takes time.
Yeah,
building muscle takes time.
Yeah.
So have a lot of time.
I would say it's more apparent in the female categories, though. There's a lot of women doing bikini where they're not that shape. They should be doing like figure and putting on muscle and take a bit of time away. Mm-hmm. It's like wellness. If you don't have naturally bigger legs and glute ratio to upper body, you won't do well at wellness. The fact is, it's not about if you walk around in the off season with a big bum.
Yeah.
It's about when you're lean, that's where you hold your muscle.
Yeah.
Your legs is where you hold your muscle. It's about, and women have way more variety, sort of grey areas in their categories. But the fact is, bikinis are very flowing shape. If you don't have that shape, you'd be better off trying to stack on the lower muscle and do figure.
Yep, exactly. You kind of touched on what muscles are most important for men's physique, and literally you got to work on the upper body.
Yeah,
arms and delts.
Yeah,
honestly,
doesn't mean you train legs though.
No.
Yeah.
Thing. It should be to a certain amount genetic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you've got nice wide clavicles, tiny waist, and you can't put much weight on your legs,
perfect.
Then that's my thing. If your legs grow, just keep going to classic.
Yeah.
Like you two.
Yeah, because you do find a lot of men's physique guys with lean legs, but if you look at them, it's like
up and down,
like a V, like like a Y, yes, like a So
like the main thing is a silhouette in men's physique. It should be just one giant triangle, right? Yeah. Shoulder width is key.
Oh yeah, it's like. Yeah, because
it helps if you've got some whacking pipes on you. If you've got some really big arms, you do really well. With wide shoulders and big arms, you do well.
Yeah. Good. And then a very tiny waist.
Yeah.
No one cares what's under the shorts.
No. Yeah, well, I think classic's way more interesting. You guys, if you've got good legs, get your legs out.
Yeah, I enjoy the posing.
As I said earlier, my physique looks better with my legs out than it does with them covered, because it makes me have an X frame, but when they're covered, you can't really see that. Yeah. So it's just,
Well, that'll be exciting for you moving into that class, and I guess you've got lots of different posing now, fun posing.
Yeah, because I dislike posing, men's physique posing. What I do like though is posing routine to some chosen music. Yeah, it's a bit more like a bit of dancing. I don't mind that. So I don't like men's physique posing. Is just boring, really.
Yeah.
So are you gonna get
it's front and back? None.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember listening to Fuad and the podcast, and he was like, with bodybuilding, you have two kinds of people: those who like the posing, and those who just like, like their part of the competition is the competing. Like, I think I'm more of the posing. Like, if I was, say, 20 out of 20, but I'm the best pose out of the 20, I'm happy. I don't care about no.
Yeah, you look at people like Terence Ruffin, and it's amazing. His posing's amazing, or Samson Dowder. He doesn't always finish as high as his posing would allow. And I had this conversation once with him about, we really should start marking posing again in the end.
I think so.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: classic, I think, it's got a bit more emphasis on the posing because that's how it was, and it's a bit more graceful and everything else. And that's a big thing. A lot of people learn classic because they're not big enough in the open, but they don't actually have classic lines. Unless you've got a nice sweeping X-frame, while there's nice bigger legs, you're not going to do so well.
Yeah.
Well, so are you going to get a posing coach, or have you started thinking about your routine?
Yeah, no, I've signed up to Emma Heidemann a while ago. I've got some posing videos worked through. As I get closer, I'll try and get some one-on-one coaching via Zoom initially. But been practicing on classic posing for probably since last mid 2020.
That's great. That's exciting. Well, I think we need a broadcast trip to come and support you.
Oh yeah,
for your show.
Just get Leon to it at the same time.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's going to take off another year, though, I think.
He's still got a lot of eggs to eat before.
You'll end up missing your cut on classic. You have to.
I know I'll have to, because I'll put on a lot of hopefully muscle. So but it'd be nice, because last competition I was 87 there. So would be nice to compete in the 90s range. So
as I say, you're close to 100. What's your cap at, for your height for classic?
91, I believe, 91 kilos.
Oh, that's very achievable.
Yeah, for NPC anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not too far from mine. Yeah, mine's.
Yeah, so it'd be nice to just be able to put on more, so that by the time, I guess, you're getting to like that 91, there's, it's hard and
there's nothing left. There's no body fat.
Yeah. So
we'll start raising funds to join you, Andy. We'll have a little banner.
Yeah, because there's
that'd be really fun.
There's Arnold UK in October, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's one, maybe one I was thinking of doing that in a PCA like in September, end of September.
And then do
Arnold.
the.
Once it's all, if the Arnold UK everything's announced, maybe the Arnold Amateur.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed.
That is a good show. You have the strongman, you have the bodybuilding. So it's
that's the thing. It'd be a good place to have spend the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be so fun. Oh well, let's keep our fingers crossed for that. Well, I think that's all we've got time for today. We have rambled on rather a lot.
Oh yeah.
And we will be back with interviews from next week. But hope you enjoy catching up with us in this episode, and we'll see you in the next one.